when I first started this, I actually I don't have a background in film.
Yeah.
I don't have a. I never really wanted to make a film. I never really had the inclination to make a film, but I love stories and I love telling stories. And through years of rubbing shoulders with filmmakers and documentary guys and directors, it's instilled a flame within me to actually make a film. Right? And so I'm always fascinated when I see people like, yeah, we just made a film on like $3,000. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there going like, okay, if I can start with a budget of 50, and so
50,000.
right, it's like I sit there and like for me, and I was saying this to Zach Ramelin, was like, in my mind, it's so much bigger than just getting started, right?
Yeah, the biggest lie anyone's ever been told, and I stole this from a movie as well, so I can't take credit. Biggest lie anyone's been told is it's not that simple. Yeah. It is. In my pocket, I can make a whole film with what I have on me. My pocket, my phone. You just shoot, and you can get audio. It doesn't need to be great. Like, The Cage isn't gonna win an Oscar, but it's a feature-length film, and it got me on a podcast. You don't need. You just like it's as simple as writing down everything you have access to, and then be like, what can I make with this?
Yeah, I think for me, so you have a producer mindset, which is wonderful.
Very wonderful.
I do not.
Yeah.
I have the sky's the limit brain. So like I'll write down ideas and then they run into the cold reality of budgets, timelines, Brady, just all
Brady.
of those things. So what advice from a young filmmaker to a younger filmmaker in so many ways? That's right. I said it. What steps should I be taking? Because I mean, I'm trying to do it all right now in my brain. Like, should I be just writing down the concept of the story and then getting a writer to write the script? Because I'm not a writer. Like, I have writer friends. Should I be sitting and learning how to write? Like, where would you recommend getting started on that kind of journey?
So Ali came to me with a story, and it was, and I told Ali this, so I can say this, it was not great.
Yeah.
It was just monologues upon monologues upon monologues, and like, it was just incoherent. And then I came in and fixed it up, but I had people in the program who were better writers, so I had them kind of find tweak stuff. And so it's really just like getting people to help you out if you can. And you don't need to be like, you're like, I'm not a great writer. You don't need to be a great writer. You just, and then it's a lot of things on set didn't sound right, so I'd change it. And it would happen like that. And it's like, I know you have a more of a creative mindset, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna like skyscrapers and like film like skydiving and whatever,
or going completely different time period.
And so you just do it, like I said, like you just do it on your phone, and you don't need to create this big extravagant thing. It might not turn out as well. Like The Cage didn't turn out exactly how I thought because we were restrained, but it turned out the best I could make it. And so the best advice is just like, if you just get started, it starts rolling.
Yeah.
Like it took us, like I had no choice but to get started because it's like we had no pre-production lead up because we knew that we only had this summer to shoot it because of the equipment. So we had the equipment at the school. So we wrote down, okay, we have the equipment at the school. We have these locations. We have these people who can help us on these days. And we would just figure it out. Like if everyone quit on us and we had no equipment and like everyone quit on us, we would just film the film on my phone. I'd film Ali walking around the city for 2 hours, and that'd be our film.
And that'd be your proof of concept. Like
that would be the film, right? And it's really just that simple of getting it done. And you have access to equipment, you have access to people, and you have writer friends who can help you out. And if you just start getting it done and saying this is what I'm doing, then people are gonna jump on because it's cool. Making a film's cool.
It is,
and it's like I'm part of a film, and my film is in the credits. Or my name's in the credits of that film. It's cool. And so people are going to jump on and help you.
I like that.
Even if you weren't paying them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you hear that? So you're a director by trade? That's
yes.
what you're, that's
Some would say that, yeah.
Yeah. So you study at school for this? Like,
yeah, I just finished school in film and broadcasting at Fanshawe.
Nice.
So yeah, I guess you can say I'm a director by trade.
Yeah.
Educated.
And you've directed a film at this point?
I have directed a feature-length film.
Yeah.
Yes, called The Cage.
The Cage, yeah.
I know.
Can you tell me a little about that?
Yeah. So I mean, The Cage is about a mercenary guy who got out of the business because they kind of, I'm not gonna give too much away, but killed someone important to him, and then he got back into it to get revenge on those same people. And it's a parallel story with him and a cop named Marlon, and how wrath and destruction is kind of like a circle and a loop. And um, it kind of shows the parallels between, you know, a criminal with a cage and a guy who's supposed to be abiding by the law. And it's a really interesting story on how, you know, those two worlds collide, and they're very much mirrored stories of each other. So, yeah. And then, do you want me to get into the background?
No, it's good. I like that. It's I like the fact that you're kind of, a lot of people when they talk about films, they just go and tell me about like the story, but not about like those parallels. And that's a really interesting concept to me. Like the bad not necessarily being bad and the good not necessarily being good. It's just the difference in where they are.
Yeah, they're both in a gray area. I mean, they're both trying to do what they think is right. Like the cage is trying to get revenge and make sure really that doesn't happen to anyone else. And same with Marlon. Like he thinks the cage killed someone important to him.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to get revenge on that. And so they're both trying to get revenge.
Why do you think revenge is such a interesting story to tell?
It's interesting because it's not black and white. It's gray, and it's, you can look at the character and look at yourself. Like the guy who produced it, Ali Sharif, amazing guy. Ali, you're amazing. He wrote the story because it was a big parallel on his life, because he's Muslim, and so, but he wasn't Muslim before, so he was in a bad area in his life, and he had a lot of anger and stuff like that, and he was going down a dark path, and then he found religion to kind of get him out of that, and he had a lot of angry thoughts and wanted revenge and all these thoughts, and so he kind of put that into the story, and it's really his story, but kind of amplified up. And he really found it interesting because it's his story, and he was like, I'm not right, I'm not wrong, I'm just me, and I'm just trying to figure things out, and I'm trying to do what I think is right, whether, you know, the ends justify the means, or the means justify the ends, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever that saying is. And
That's I find when you have like a character driven narrative like that, there's always behind the scenes someone who has the layers
mhm.
that have been applied to, right? So that's kind of a
Yeah, so Ali played the main character, Cage.
okay.
'Cause
So
it was-
he was the actor in there as well.
He was the actor in it, partially because it's about him, and other part because he was able to spend most of the time, like being able to,
Yeah.
because he's the main guy. He was able to
Amazing.
spend the most time.
And you
So-
guys shot this over how many months, years, days?
We shot this over months. So we started, I think, in April. Or in May or June. I don't remember. It was a year ago. And then we finished principal photography on January 17th, I think. It was a long time, but we needed to, because like everyone was volunteer. Like no one was paid. No one was like, here, like we'll give you, like, it was just like, hey, let's make something cool. So we couldn't film like a full month, 12-hour or 14-hour shoot days. So yeah, it was months.
That's good
Yeah, it
though.
was tough. Yeah.
Because this is your first movie that you've done, right?
Yep.
So
First
what are
movie
you,
anyone on that cast or crew done.
100% new team. So you had no kind of
Like there was actors who might have done a film, like background, but like
Yeah.
no one made a film. We all just, like, the longest thing we've made is like 5-minute short films.
Well, so you guys are from the same class, or what's the
Yeah,
backstory
so
there?
majority of us were from the same class. Ali he's like 25. And he took the film program like during COVID. And so he didn't really get much out of it, and none of the jobs were available during COVID. And so he went back because his parents were like, you need to do something. So he went back and did, like, I think, social work. He was studying for that. And he took the same elective as one of the people in the program, and that's how I met him, was on a film set, because he's like, oh, I do audio. You know, he's just like, hey, I'll do
There
something.
you go.
And so he's really good at audio, but he's like, hey, and I can tell you how we met because it's a really funny
would love to
story.
hear that,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we were on a film set together, and I was doing, I was a gaffer or a grip or something. I was doing something with lights, and he was audio. And it was lunch break, and they're like, "Hey, we'll send those two guys while we film. Seem to no audio or nothing to do with lights. We'll send those two guys to grab food." And so he just turns to me, he's like, "Hey, do you want to direct a film, a movie?" Like we met that day, and I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And I asked him later, and he's like, "I just like your vibe." And I was like, that was a crazy bet because this is his
Wow.
like life project. He
Yeah.
spent 7 years writing this.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And you basically just on a whim were like, yeah, sure.
I
Because you'd
mean-
never directed at that point up to then, or you
No,
were-
so I directed
you knew-
short films.
Okay,
But they were like 1 location, 2 location max.
Fair.
Like 5 minute. Like it was like taking on a behemoth
yeah.
compared to what I've done. Yeah.
What do you like? What got you into directing the first? There's lots of roles that you can.
Yeah. So when I got into film school, I just wanted to get in film because it was like, yeah, that's what I need to do. Because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was out of high school, and I was like, I'm just gonna go into like a trade, like auto mechanic or something like that. And I watched a film called The Lobster, and it like spoke to me in a weird way. It was like at a pretty down point in my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do. It was during COVID, so I couldn't see my friends, and I was like, wow, like life sucks. And that like spoke to me, and I'm like, yeah, that's the path I want to move forward with. And imagine telling your parents, oh yeah, I'm gonna do a trade that pays really well. Oh, actually, I'm gonna do film.
Yeah,
And they're
'cause
like,
it's a very rocky road.
yeah, and it's
especially in Canada.
yeah. But they saw the passion. Like they were very skeptical.
Mhm.
They said, like, you need to give us like a plan on what you want to do. And so, but they saw the passion. They're like, yeah, no, he's gonna make it, and that gave me a lot of confidence. But to answer your question is, I just wanted to make films. I didn't know, like, I thought director, like, yeah, like everyone wants to be a director. Like, what are the chances that I get to direct something? And so the first day of class, teacher's like, okay, like who wants to be, a director? And so everyone raised their hand. So I raised my hand too.
Yep.
And then who wants to do sound, and like no one raised their hand. Wants to do
Sorry,
like
I
everyone
didn't-
wants to be a director. And no, it wasn't at that point. It was when we were filming our first short film. Like no one knew each other. You were just put into groups, write a 3-minute script. And so we kind of just got on set, and it was filmed at my house. And so we had one guy who took camera, one guy took audio, and I'm like, I guess I'm director. And so I
amazing.
directed that, and it turned out really well. And then I was like, okay, like I guess I'm pretty good at this. And so from that point on, everyone's kind of see me as more of a director, producer kind of guy. I'm a little bit older than everyone, a little
Yep.
more mature. So everyone kind of saw me like
You're
that.
like the
So
adult in the room.
I was the adult in the room, which is very weird for me because I'm the youngest in my family.
Yep.
It was very weird for me to be the adult and like
Interesting.
know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting thing that so many people are interested in directing, because if you gave them all a chance to direct, I think about at least half of them are going to drop out immediately, because it's such a different world to, because I understand cameras, right? I understand like even like lighting and all of the like the production stuff around, because there's like something that you're doing as a physical task kind of thing, right? But directing is it's almost esoteric in itself.
Yeah, my viewpoint on that is you either have it or you don't. Like I think like you're either good with cameras or you're not. Like I'm not necessarily the best at cameras. I'm not necessarily the best at audio. I think I'm pretty good at directing and being a leader on set. But there's a lot of things I don't have. That's one of the things I have, and I'm grateful that I'm able to have that. And there's a lot of experiences and people I look for that were able to give me that. But that's kind of my viewpoint on that. Like you either can run a business or you can't.
Yeah.
You either can be an employee or you can't. Like there's a lot of things you're good at or you're just not. And that's
I think that's really astute, because I mean, I know I'm completely unemployable. It's like Anybody who knows me knows that.
Everyone's shaking their heads.
Oh,
man.
yeah. They're like, yep. It's like, I think I've been employed like twice in my life.
Yeah.
Right. The first time, was when I realized that I was not employable. And the second time I walked in there and said, I need a vacation from entrepreneurship for like 6 months. And so I'm just going to do this. Yeah. I'm horribly overqualified, but, hire me.
Yeah.
Like that was my walk in and have the interview. And that was it.
And you got hired.
I got hired. Yep. So, and then I got hired back again to do the second. It was like basically school headshots. Okay. Right? It's like going out and photographing a whole bunch of kids. And it's like my background at that point, I was like, this is easy. You can just rip through it. Yeah.
Just mindless and just.
It was so mindless. It was great. Like load up the gear in the morning, drive out, shoot, tear down, done. Yeah. And that's what I needed. So, yeah.
Yeah. I do not like mindless work at all.
I needed it back then though, because I had like 2 young kids and it just there was a lot going on. So just needed the time just to kind of unpack what, because that gave me the space to do the thinking. Right. And I find, especially as your director, entrepreneur, I think those two, they kind of go tied hand in hand a little bit because you have a lot of mental game that you have to go through to get to the places that you want to be.
Yeah. No, I love the mental game.
Yeah.
I love the pressure of it all. I like it. Like I would, like one of the film days, it was like tiresome for me specifically because I was doing all the pre-production week to week. So Ali would be like, "Oh, we're gonna film these 3 scenes, 2 scenes on Friday, 1 scene on Saturday," and it'd be Monday. So he would go and get the location and get everyone organized, like the logistical side, and I was doing the pre-production of like shot list, and I didn't know what the locations looked like, so I was just doing. So
he'd give me
he'd send me photos if I was lucky, or he'd just be like, look it up, or this is kind of what the vibe is. And that's not his fault at all because he's getting the locations.
Yeah.
Like,
and are you pulling permits for these locations, or is
this completely
no. Like a guerrilla film basically?
No. So all the locations inside, Ali is an absolute fantastic producer in all the ways, most of the ways. Yep. No, but he's great at getting locations for free.
Nice.
We had this one location in a Mexican restaurant on a Monday. We're filming on a Monday, and he got it for free. So we filmed for 8 hours, and it's like,
how? And was it closed?
Yeah, I think it was closed, but still, like, hey, can you come in early and open up for us, and then come back and close it down?
That's wild.
And have a bunch of people you've never met or don't know film in your kitchen and outer area, and they let us. We were filming 3 scenes that day because we can only get for 8 hours. So you can imagine how tough that was. But no, Ali's great in that way. But it was gruesome week to week. Like there was days we're filming at night because it was a night scene, and it was a fight scene and like moving from inside a location to outside, and we'd stay up till 3:30 or 3 in the morning, and then I'd work at 5. Or I'd wake up at for 5 in the morning for work from 6:30 to 2:30 in a warehouse, like manual labor. And so we shot that for like 2 or 3 days, and like I wouldn't sleep, and I'd just like hallucinate, like action or cut or I'm ready to rock, or I'd hear people like in my bedroom like shooting. I'd be like, just action, right? But I loved it. Like I love the pressure of it. And I think that's why I succeed, because I never Ali so many times would say, you can quit. Like, it's okay if you quit. Like, I understand. And I'd be like, no, like I promised him, I'm like, we're going to get it done.
Yeah.
So
what's the sort of drive for you on that? Because you enjoy the pressure. Is this trying to prove yourself? Where is that coming from?
That's a great question. I think I just want to be great. I want to be the best. Like I don't think there's any point of not trying to be the best at anything.
Okay.
Like what's the point of getting into it if you're not trying to be the best? So, I'm like, this is what it takes, I think. And so, and plus I made a promise to Ali. I think that's where I was like, I'm willing, like, cause Ali worked his ass off for me, and he's been like ride or die for me. And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna work my ass off for you.
Yeah. So that's for Ali, but what about for you? Because like there's a drive here that's most people don't want to do difficult things.
I love doing difficult things.
I know, but I'm trying to find out
why. Sorry.
I'm kind of curious as to why. Was it when you were younger, were you quiet? Were you shoved into a corner somewhere?
Yes. Oh, we're getting deep here. Yeah. So when I was bullied a lot as a kid. And it was weird because I was bullied by like a lot of females, and I was just like, people would be like, "Oh, he's just like," I was athletic. I played hockey. And they're like, "Oh, he's just a dumb jock," and I was like, "I don't want to be dumb." um, and I had a learning disability, or what they thought they thought I had a learning disability, and so it was a lot of like, I guess, yeah, like I was just trying to prove people wrong because when I was younger, I was like, "I'm not dumb," but they kept saying like, "You're dumb, you're dumb, you're dumb," so I believed that. Um,
Is this your teachers or?
Teachers, yeah, grade 7, 8, Miss Milmus.
Yeah. Still
Um,
remember the name, eh?
I still remember the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Miss Mill. Yeah, she was just terrible for me in terms of like my self confidence. She would like berate me every day. Be like, how do you not know this?
Mm.
Like, how do you not know this? Like, I've taught you this. How do you not know this?
Yeah.
In front of all the kids. I'd be crying. Kids would be like, hey, it's okay. And she'd be like, get out. Like, why are you helping them?
That's not a good feeling.
No, but honestly, like my whole life, I'd be like, if I ever get in front of a camera, I'm gonna be talking so much shit about her. But honestly, like I like thank her because it taught me. I used to be so emotional, and like now I'm patient, and because of that, and like I was like, I'm so dumb, and then that got to a point in my mind where I'm like, I don't want to be dumb, so I'm gonna start learning things.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start, and that's probably why I got into history, and I really like to learn history. But that got me to like try a bunch of stuff and kind of figure out. And so like honestly, like thank you, Miss Willis, for like being really bad at me, so I kind of grow.
Because you say the stories about revenge, and in so many ways you're the perfect director for it, because in some respects you want to get your revenge on the system that kind of held you back, right? That gave you kind of the fuel to go out there and prove them wrong, right? And so in a way, this revenge story is very nicely tied into your experience too. It's just why you're able to direct it in such a manner.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I didn't think about it like that. Yeah, no, the revenge. Yeah, I guess why I'm trying to do it is because I'm just trying to prove like, yeah, I can do it. I want to be the best at it.
What happens when you've proved it?
Buy a vineyard in Italy and settle down. I don't know.
Just live.
I don't know. I have a goal in mind. I want to win an Oscar.
Let's hear it.
I want to win an Oscar.
Okay.
And like,
so what does it take to win an Oscar?
Make movies.
Yeah.
I think it's as simple as that. Like why can't The Cage win an Oscar? Right? Like, why can't I win Best Director? Why can't I do these things? Like, why not me?
There's nothing holding you back.
There's nothing holding me back. Like, I'm able to make a feature-length film for $3,000.
Which is crazy, by the way.
That turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Like, what's to say, in 10 years I don't win an Oscar. So that's my end goal. And I think once I hit the end goal, I'll be like, yep, I've hit. Or maybe, maybe I'll be like, I want to win another Oscar.
Well, because with revenge, often when they get the revenge, then that's when the reality sets in that that's not the answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's true. I think it's also the people you have around you. Like, I think I've some pretty good support systems that keep me grounded and keep me like from going off the deep end. Yeah. And I'm also a pretty like realistic person. Like, I'm not a pessimist, but like I'm not really an optimist. Like
you're like an optimistic pessimist.
I'm like I don't really see the absolute best case scenario in everything. But it's funny because Ali is. Yep. So Ali's like, oh my God, we're gonna have this like 10-minute long fight scene. And it was great because when I'd go through the script, I'd like cut all the dialogue, like a lot of the dialogue and all these, because in The Cage there was like 10 fight scenes.
Dang.
I cut down to like one big one at the end. There was a few fight scenes we had to keep.
Skirmishes, yeah.
But there was like one fight scene. And so like I was able to keep it realistic and doable.
That's important too, because a lot of like, especially young directors have all these really crazy big ideas, and then they throw up against like limitations of like crew, production, all of those kind of layers. and it kind of throws them for a tailspin. They end up producing something that's watered down, right?
Yeah.
When if you're able to just pare it back, bring it back to the simplest form, but still the most effective form, that's when you can really be successful.
I think that's probably my greatest strength when it came to making it. Was Ali came to me with like 200 minutes worth of things. I cut it down to, you know, an hour and 40 minutes. And I like recognized the limitations we had. And Ali like wrote the script like this would be so cool. He's picturing in his head. I'm like, okay, but what do we have? You know, we have no permits, no experienced cast or crew. Like, what can we make with this?
Yeah.
And so, like, and it was also a case of like, me and Ali were gonna make it if we had no one supporting us and no equipment. Like, we'd shoot on our phones and make it. Like, we were just that determined to make it. And I think that determination had everyone else come in and help us.
100%. Yeah. I think as you're building a team too, if they can see where you want to go with it, then they get excited and they're just like, I want to chase that, you know, and help you chase it.
Yeah. I mean, that can be attributed to my leadership. I hate talking good about myself. I feel like I'm bragging, but I think my leadership played a huge part in it because the script, like week to week, the script, I had to redo the script. And so, and people a lot of the time didn't know what we were shooting till the day of. Where I'd tell the DOP, hey, like I'd basically just be like, this is what we're shooting, that angle, this is the movement. Like I was doing a lot of that brain work, and the DOPs and camera people were just doing it. And like making sure the line was all good and everything. But it was a lot of just, I guess, not faking it till you make it, because I was very confident in what I was doing. But it was like, is this gonna look good in the final film? And when we put it we put it on the timeline and it was uncolored and very rough, I was like, oh, we didn't do a good job. And then it turned out pretty good. I
always find the first draft, when you start watching, then that's when your fears start to sink in, and you're just like, maybe this is not where I thought it could go. Did you have that experience for your movie?
Yeah, when we first started filming, the dreaded first day on set, I wasn't directing. So originally he had someone else direct, and I was going to be a co-producer director kind of thing with that guy. And the first day on set, he showed up 3 hours late.
You did?
He did.
Oh, he did. Okay.
The director. I was early.
Yeah.
Showed up 3 hours late. He just brought like all his friends who were just messing around, and he didn't know the shot list. He didn't make the shot list or the storyboard or anything. And he took like 2 hours on a shot directing people and just say it over and over. And then I went up to Ali and I'm like, Ali, I'm directing the rest of this because like no one's coming back.
Yeah. And
all that footage was unusable, so we had to reshoot that. And that, I think that was really good for me because then everyone's like, hey, as bad of a day this is, as long as it's not the first day.
Yeah.
You know, it's not as bad as the first day. So that was good for me. And I was a way better director than that guy. I can say that confidently.
Well, and leading the charge is part of being a director. It's like, this is what we want to make. This is how we're going to do it. And, you know in your mind, usually, like, I don't know if it's the same for you, but I usually have in my mind the thing playing already. Now I've got to try and like reduce that creative gap as much as possible by telling the DP what I need, making sure the lighting's up, making sure the audio's, all of those things. And like, it takes a family to raise a freaking movie from the ground, right? It really does. So like, did you find that where you kind of, in your mind, you could see the scenes, and so when someone wasn't directing it the right way, you're like, no, like this needs to be this, because then it can play it into this?
Not so much on that first day. I was more just like after we had lunch, I took more of a charge as director. But when I was reading the script, I could just picture in my head. So making the shot list was easier. And then on the shoot day, I'd be like, no, we're shooting it this way. And like so many people would like the DOPs and everyone would be like, no, like that won't work. And then it would work. Cause I can just picture the whole thing in my head as I'm reading it. And yeah, like the exact same thing, I can just picture in my head. But then sometimes it wouldn't work.
Yep.
But yeah,
That's the joy of the creative process, right? It's like I find often I'll be like, this is the shot. I want this shot in this way, and then we get it, and I'm like, and Brady will be like, oh, what about if we just come from this angle, try this, or I noticed this, because when you're sitting there looking at the screen, you're always kind of like so focused in on that small box, right? It's like you're kind of like making sure the people are aligned, making sure everything's going the way you want it to in your brain. But then other people are sitting further back. Sometimes they're like looking and going, well, this is happening over here. And it look really cool. So yeah.
No, I get that.
Yeah,
I'm probably like the biggest asshole on set.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, let's get to it. Like, let's hurry up.
Yep.
Because I know all the limitations we have. Like,
Yeah.
everyone's just there and like, oh, I'm just hanging out with my friends, making a film. Like, this is so awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we have like 2 minutes to film 10 shots. Like, let's get her going.
Yeah. Where do you see film in Canada? Like, is film in Canada growing?
I think it is. I think it probably on the outside it doesn't look like it, but now that I'm kind of in, and I'm in those like meetings and conversations, it is like, Canada. That's a complicated subject.
It is.
Because on one hand, there's a lot of things for young filmmakers to kind of look at and say, oh, like that's inspiration, or like Ontario creates and tax credits and grants and all that, which me and Ali have looked into.
I think for me, when I look at anything, especially as someone who kind of like figures out the whole timeline and then works his way backwards. Like basically, if you want to break down what I do in a nutshell, is like basically do a work back schedule for whatever the thing is, right? And I look at how it exists today, and I think that the problem that we're seeing today is there's not enough clarity at the beginning stages for people. So like, On Creates is a great example where they have all this wonderful opportunities, but it's still not clear enough for the people, because a lot of these people are creatives. They're not accountants. They're not, people who have like skills in like layered kind of like project management, and it's difficult to get into it, right? And it's like, then I look at where it can go in Canada, and it can be pretty phenomenal, but there's nothing that I can see that's in the middle. Like we recently went onto a big set, and I was just blown away. I'm like, the scale of it was incomprehensible to me, because like I'm sitting here going like, this cost me like 10 years worth of work up to this point to be able to get this studio. And I walk into a place and this is like one of the rooms of like 1,000 rooms.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how do you do that? How do you get to that scale? Right. But there doesn't seem to be a middle part. Then it seems to be small or just full blown movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
where's the middle ground? Right. And so I think that's where Canada can really leverage themselves right now, is by increasing not only the startup, but the middle ground too.
Well, I think that's the same with film. I think there's a lot of small budget films and big budget films, and there's not really much medium budget. Like the $10 to $80 million films are kind of not exist anymore, because people don't want to invest in this like $80 million film, and you don't have like Leonardo DiCaprio, because he costs $80 million to get.
Yeah.
Or they're gonna invest in a really small budget, and you can't fulfill the vision of what the film's gonna be. And so I think that's a dying breed, because obviously, but I also think it's really good for filmmakers. Kind of, I don't know if it's a controversial opinion, but streaming.
Yeah.
I think it's really good, because that short film you can turn into a TV pilot and sell it, and for streaming, and that's consistent income. And
I think if we take the blockbusters approach, we're going to be in trouble. So we need to just switch it up a little bit and look at how Netflix came in and they basically just changed the market completely.
Yeah, I think, and I think that's because it's convenient.
I think every director wants to see their film on a big screen, though.
Yeah,
It's the ego thing, right?
I mean, that's like idealistic. Like I don't picture the world as I want it to be. I picture the world as it is.
Yeah.
So, hey, how can I make money doing what I love? And that's kind of the avenue me and Ali see ourselves in, and is moving forward with. Let's try and make money before we try and like make something artistic. Yep. Let's make something entertaining for the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the more I get into this industry, because I'm still pretty young in this industry, like we're talking under 5 years really as a director, and it's become such a fascination to me of how it's evolving. And I see smaller units becoming very powerful. And before, like if you wanted to be distributed, you had to have like a studio behind you. Now you can go in and like, I don't know who it, like I can't remember what channel it was, but they actually have gone from YouTube onto Netflix now or onto Amazon. Someone like purchased it and it basically got shifted over. The entire catalog got shifted over. So we've got like places like YouTube where you can actually build your own content, and so it's become more accessible, right?
Yeah, I think people like Amazon and Netflix just want to buy eyes. So like Mr. Beast YouTube videos are on, but it's free on YouTube. So why would you pay monthly? But people just want something to watch. Like my parents were watching Mr. Beast. I come downstairs. Imagine my reaction being like, "What are you watching?" Like I watched this guy when I was 13 or whatever. I'm like, he's free on YouTube. Like you kind of.
I mean, it's still free to them technically because they're paying for the service anyway.
Yeah. So but
they can be more curated on the Amazon platform. Yeah. They can just take
So I mean, people just want content. I think the world's starving of content. People just want eyes. So I think that's very good for independent filmmakers, which is what I am. So that's good. But
do you feel that content cheapens the process?
I think it can. Yeah, I think it okay, let's just rush through it and like whatever. I think that's the same with any kind of. I mean, that's kind of the same with like Marvel. I think like, we're just gonna pump out TV shows because it's content. But if people are willing to watch, then they're gonna keep doing it. Like. I can make an Oscar-worthy film, but majority of people aren't going to watch that as compared to She-Hulk or whatever.
Yeah. But it's like when I hear authors talk about wanting to be on the top sellers list. I'm like, you realize that's not necessarily a good book. It's just a top seller or a bestseller. Yeah. Right? Like those two are not synonymous. They don't need to be a good book to be a bestseller. Same as with movies. They don't need to be a blockbuster to be a good movie. Yeah. I think the trends that bucked that a little bit was the Oppenheimer, where we saw like those two movies that are two superb movies at the same time, and they changed the landscape a little bit. But I think that's a once in a lifetime kind of situation. Yeah,
I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
If you make a studio money, they're gonna like it's the same with I forget his name. The guy who made Mickey 17. Like he made Parasite. And won them an Oscar and made the money. So then they just gave him a blank check and said, make whatever you want. Like, I think I'd love to be able to just make whatever I want. So you got to make something that people are going to want to watch before you can make like whatever you want.
Well, the story matters way, way more than people realize. And we're really focused on what do we put in front of the lens that's interesting? What's, going to be a bit more, of substance. Yeah. Right. And that's not always going to be a bestseller. Yeah. Right, that's not always going to be that, but that's also the point is that we're developing content that's got teeth versus, pushing content out there for the sake of content. Yeah. Because I think like Mr. Beast, he did fantastic in showing how best to leverage the algorithm. Yep. Right, he's just very good at going, oh, that worked, we'll do that again. Oh, that worked, we'll do that again. And they were doing hundreds of videos, right, to make that happen. And so they would just sit there and change one little minute thing at a time. And I think that scientists' approach to storytelling or content isn't necessarily understanding the core of it, right? Yep. Right. So that's for me is I want to see more story come out of, especially out of Canada. I think Canada's done some beautiful stories.
Yeah, I think Canada's underrated. Like David Cronenberg, that's the only one that comes to mind. Jackson Dobbyn. But I think I think Canada's underrated in terms of films. Like there's so many films that are filmed up here. And that's so much great opportunity for the industry, but there's so many like, oh, we'll just go to Hollywood. We got Toronto right there. Like there's so many like Canada supports you in film as I think they do. Obviously The Cage, we didn't really get supported much because we were kind of doing things guerrilla style. But I think like going to those meetings of like Ontario Creates and what you were saying, like there's no middle ground. I think people want to help you. Like I think people are willing to help you. Because I went to those meetings and they're like, yeah, just like ask us. Like here's my contact. Like you can call me anytime. You can email me like what works, what doesn't. And that was very like reassuring. Being like, okay, like we're not just like blindly like here you go, and then they come back like, oh, this is completely wrong. Yeah.
I think it's always about risk management. Right. And so whenever it comes to risk management, the best way to circumvent risk is to show proof. Yep. Right. So like, this is what we've done before. We made a film before. We did it on $3,000. Give us 30 or give us 300, whatever.
That's exactly my thought process is like, oh, we did this with 3,000. Imagine if you gave us 100,000. Yep. Imagine if you gave us a crew that was more experienced. Imagine if you gave us these permits where we can film 3 or 4 days and not just one. And so it's kind of like I guess circling all the way back to an earlier question, why I felt the need to get it done was because it's such a good proof of concept for my career and like what I can do. Where everyone else, I can make a 5-minute short film that looks really stunning, and we shot it like like people would shoot a 20-minute short film 7 days, 10-hour days, and like, look what I can do, look how great it is. It's like only like 10 15 minutes, like, you know, and you have location security, you have everything all perfect. Like it's easy to make a perfect thing when everything's perfect.
Fair.
But like, no one likes perfect. People like a little edge too.
They actually, we're finding more and more, especially just like the sheer volume of content comes out. Yes, quality matters, but more, in fact, like the messy part is what people are actually looking for.
Yeah.
Right. So you're 22, right?
I am 22.
22. Yeah. So you're pretty young. So where are you pulling your kind of inspiration from when it comes to actually directing or kind of getting your stories?
I was waiting for you to ask me this question because it's such an unconventional question. So I'm gonna start the answer with the more conventional.
Sure.
So like the people I draw inspiration from, 2 people like in the industry that you would know, Werner Herzog.
Yep.
And Francis Ford Coppola.
Okay.
Not so much for their style, but just because they have, and I'm still gone well, sorry. They have balls.
Yeah.
Like I was listening to a story. Werner Herzog. I saw a video. When he was making Fitzcarraldo, people were like, I don't want to swim across the lake, there's piranhas. He got completely butt naked and swam across and went out there. So like, see,
you're fine. Yep.
And he's just crazy. And he's like, we're gonna have that giant boat go down the water. Oh, like a miniature, and we'll just do inserts. No, we're just gonna film it, and we're gonna have everyone on deck, and people like stabbed on because you crash in a big boat into big rocks. And he's like, you know what? We're gonna lift that boat over that ridge onto the other side, like how Fitzcarraldo did. But Fitzcarraldo didn't do it. But Werner Herzog did. And he had a bunch of tribes, and he was dealing with Klaus Kinski, and he was insane. Like just that whole story. And I was like, yeah, Werner, and Grizzly Man, and he's like his documentaries are insane, and he's just such a great storyteller. Like that penguin that went off. He didn't go back to the colony. He didn't go to the main ground. He went to the mountain. Why did he go to the mountain? It's like, that's awesome. And then Francis Ford Coppola, same reason really, making Apocalypse Now. Like he had to go to this like tribal camp and eat like a heart to show that he's like, like you can trust me. And he like was like, you don't have to pay me. Put that money towards the film.
Mm-hmm.
Or Megalopolis. He's like, I'm willing to sell my whole business to pursue what I love. I love it that, like, in terms of style, I don't really get much style. I just kind of do what, I guess, for the cage, I didn't really have much style. It's just kind of like what needs to be done and what kind of looks cool. But those are kind of the people where it's like, get it done. Like, get it done no matter what. And less conventional are my parents. Like, in terms of my creativity, I get it from my mom. But in terms of my directing style, I get it from my dad, who's never done anything creative in his life. But he coached hockey, and so I got a bunch of my directing styles from him. Like when he coached hockey, if we had a great hockey game, he'd beg skate us.
Yeah.
If we had a terrible hockey game, we lost 10-0, we'd just go for a scrimmage, and that would kind of keep people on edge. Where it's like, I don't, and I applied that. Like when Ali kind of messed up one day, we were supposed to have a location, and security came and said, well, the paperwork didn't go through. And everyone's like, and we had to tell everyone who showed up, took time out of their day and be like, you have to go back home. Sorry, we're not filming. Come back tomorrow, please. I came over to Ali, and I had my hands behind my back, and I was like, let's go for a walk. And I looked really mad. And he's like, fuck, Jackson's gonna like shoot me out. And, and I was like, Ali, you are an amazing producer. You got everyone here. Everyone's here for you. It's a small blip. We're gonna film tomorrow. We're gonna get it done. And he came back later and was like, I thought you were gonna rip me to shreds, but you did that. And so I think like the reason why I took that from my dad and the reason why is keep people on edge. And when they're at their lowest, like it kind of keeps, when they're at their lowest, it brings them back up. And when they're too high, it brings them back down. It keeps them grounded. Another thing is he found someone to pick on. And so when I played hockey for him, he'd pick on me because he knew he could. He knew I wasn't gonna like quit on him like the other kids would. And so I did that with Ali. So I was really hard on Ali. And so when I was kind of harder on other people, they'd be like, oh, at least he's not as hard on me as he is with Ali. And I knew I could do it with Ali because Ali has no ego. He just wants the best. You know, we'd film a day and he'd be like, how's my acting? I'd be like, it was dog shit. You did terrible. Like you were just not good. Like you couldn't get the scene right. I'd be like, okay, how can I do better? I'd be like, oh yeah, this is how you do better. This is how you do better. Or he'd be like, oh, like I really didn't do a good job today. And I'd be like, you did fantastic. Like you did really good. You like only did 2 shots of that one. Did a shot. It was perfect. So we did a safety and we moved on. And we shot under wrap or under time. And so like a lot of how I operate, I guess like as a human, but more specific to your question is my dad. Like my dad is a huge inspiration. Brian, he's a huge inspiration for like how I am as a man, but how I direct other people and how I am as a leader. Yeah.
Would you say that that's what you're chasing right now? Is to get him kind of seeing you for, you want those high highs from him?
Not so much. I don't do it for my parents' approval because my parents have always been supportive. Like even when I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do film, they're like, we believe in you. Like give us a plan so we know you're not just gonna be starving or doing nothing for the rest of your life. But they always believed in me. But they've always been like tough love, like realistic. That's probably where I get it from.
Yep.
But they've always like never been like, no, you can't do that. You're not smart enough. You're not. They've always just been like tough it out. Like when I was going through elementary school and I was Miss Millimus, they'd be like, you gotta tough it out. And then now I'm saying, thank you, Miss Millimus. Right? Where before I'd be like, I hate you, like this is terrible. So like they know kind of what's best for me.
Yep.
And so I've never been like chasing my dad because my dad, way different field also.
Sure.
But my dad's like, I can't speak enough good things about my dad. My dad's amazing.
The thing that's interesting to me is a lot of storytelling comes from lived experience, right? So do you try to supplement that lived experience, or do you just try to learn about it as much as possible? Because I know like 20-year-old me versus 40-year-old me, 2 different people, right? And the 40-year-old can pull from a lot more experience and be like, actually, especially when it comes to actors, right?
Yep.
And getting them to kind of look the way that you want them to look. And you're like, you know what, actually, in that situation with these kind of like stressors, this is what they would actually appear like based on their personality or whoever they are, right? Especially if we're going into fiction, right? Like, how do you, do you feel that you're kind of just learning as you go, or are you actively going out there and just kind of people watching, like trying to understand more? Like, how do you feel that part?
Yeah, so in terms of with actors, I was directing a person who like I was directing a lot of people with experience, and that's intimidating. Like I've only ever directed like people in the film program, and so directing them, I just asked them questions, and I was directing non-actors, like people who, like have no idea what a camera is, and so I would just ask them questions, like, and the actors who act in like a lot of stuff, like we had a very experienced actor and he knew what he was doing. So I just knew I could just set a camera up and just explain the scene. And he knew, or he'd ask me questions like, at what point, like, am I feeling this way or am I feeling that way? Like, you're feeling this way because of this. Yeah, okay. And he'd be good to go. And there'd be other actors where never acted and we'd have to do like 20 takes. And so I would do a walk. I'd have a walk with him. It'd be like, because the guy's supposed to be like, like angry and really like upset and like almost crying. And Ali got me an actor who's never acted before. So you could end like he's just surrounded by a bunch of people he's just met that day. So I go for a walk with him and be like, like how's your family? And how's, like have you ever been broken up with? Like I'd ask him that questions, like yeah, like he might say, yeah, I had this girl and I really loved her. I thought I was gonna marry her, and I bought a ring. And I'd be like, yeah, so like tell me more about that. I'd be like, and so he'd be like, yeah, and so like I was gonna do it, and I got on one knee and she said no, and I found out later she cheated on me, and I found out later that I don't know, like that's not real, but
Yeah.
I'm saying like I'd figure out more about him and I'd be like, okay, like dive deep into that, like why. And so he'd start getting emotional, right? And it was like, okay, like
Draw from that.
I was like, yeah, pull from that and apply it. Like, look at Ali's face and picture him as that girl or whatever. And so that's how I was able to do it. I just learn, it's not from my own experience and telling them what my experience was. It was more like, okay, what point in your life applies to this?
Yeah.
Are you supposed to be upset and angry and like frustrated?
Yeah. Because you can draw from people's experiences and also from like history as well. And you talked about how you enjoy history so much.
Yep.
Right? Is this part of you kind of building up those layers of understanding? Like, is it the people in history, or is it just like the events? Like, what fascinates you with that, and how are you applying it to your directing?
Oh no, I love. Yeah. Oh, we could talk for hours about this. But it's how, like, I guess it's like psychology and history. So like why did people do that? Like why did people assassinate the Archduke Franz Ferdinand? Why like my big thing was why did people like Hitler? Like why? Because we look at it like that's deplorable. Like why would anyone do that?
Yep.
But when you look at like history and like the background behind it, it's like, oh, and then you can apply it to what's happening today and what's like all those things. And that's why I find it so interesting.
When people don't actually mean to do bad things, they
No,
do good
they,
things
like-
in their mind
Like
that
everyone,
other people see as bad.
everyone thinks they're the hero of their own story.
Yeah.
Like Hitler thought he was doing, like he was saving the world.
Yep.
And, like everyone throughout history thinks no one's like, I'm gonna be the villain. I'm just gonna do it just cause, like, cause I hate people. Everyone's doing it for a reason, and so I find it interesting why that reason is. And so I guess that applies to film. Like, why is that character upset? Why are you upset in this moment? Why are you feeling this way?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's a good parallel I didn't think about.
Yeah. Well, and it's just like how they react to situations too is based on their, almost like their view of the world, right? Like it depends on, if we go and look at history as a great example, it's like there are plenty of times in history where shit goes sideways.
Yeah. And
you're just like, how did this get started? Right. And like we've lived through multiple like generations of at this point of different things happening. Right. And there's always these inflex points that happen where two people who believe they're doing the right thing feel the need to get into the conflict over the right thing.
Yep.
Right. And there's always someone out there that's like, he's doing the wrong thing, he's doing the right thing. But now it's become such this back and forth, like the Spider-Man meme, pointing at everybody. Right. And it's like, it's a complicated thing. And I think in movies, the expectation of the characters are pulled from what they've done in the past. So right at the beginning, when you first start watching the characters, you're actually kind of watching the historical data so that moving forward, you know how they're going to react to things, right? And then that makes it exciting or doesn't, right? And that's the character arcs that are truly beautiful are the ones that come to terms with the fact that they may have fucked up and they need to change, right? And ultimately, everybody goes through that throughout their lives. And so being able to sit there and watch a film and go, that's almost me there. And then you become part of it. And then if they act in the way that you expect you to have acted in it, that's a great character for you.
Yeah. Like in the film The Cage, the two characters think they're doing right. And I think The Cage is more like, I know I'm kind of like killing people and that's bad, but like it's for a good cause. Because he's trying to go after the syndicate that kind of fucked him over and killed someone close to him. And so, but that's
watch the film first, guys.
Watch the film first. But the cop Marlon thinks he's doing the same thing, and he's like, I need to kill that guy because he's gonna do more damage in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but they also put the people they care about in the way as well, like in the way of danger while doing so. So then, I don't know how much I can reveal,
Yeah,
but you know what? Like it's
a roller coaster.
It is a roller coaster of like, it's interesting. I never really thought about like what I pulled from with history and why I like history so much, and put into those characters. Like, why are they doing the things they're doing? Yeah.
So you like the art side of it, which is like kind of that driver, because the actor creating something feels good,
Yeah.
right? Like, what is creation? Why do you create for you? Like, that's the core.
What do I create? Money? No. Well, I mean, like, I want to be able to sustain myself in life doing what I love. So I think that's
But why is that important?
food in the house. I mean, like, like I want to be able to do what I love and like come into work and not be like, oh, like, do manual labor for 8 hours and then do what I love. I'd rather do what I love for 8 hours a day.
Fair. That may not happen though. You realize that, right?
I know.
Okay.
But might as well try. I think. Why? Might as well try and do that.
Yeah, because there's someone who's like recently. One of the things we're going back to is the creator mindset first, right? It's like we want to make something for us, and so that's this whole show is actually just like this is us creating for us. We're not creating for anybody else. Like I have a mantra of like 1,000 conversations that has just been like, when we hit there, that's out. We're done. Like we're head out. Hopefully we get to that point where we're like, okay, let's just keep doing it because it's fun. But at that point, I just wanted to have a target to hit, and then the rest is like we're just going to create. Because for me, the actor creation is how I find not only my purpose, but also kind of my value in what I do. Like if I don't create anything, I start to get like really kind of itchy feet. I'm like, I want to go shoot something. I want to do something,
Yeah. No, I think like what you said before, where you make this, people are going to say it suck, but you make the same thing, people are going to say it's awesome. People are going to have opinions no matter what. I think you make what you want, and people are going to say, yeah, that's great, or people are going to say, no, that sucks. But like I agree with you. Make what you want, and people are gonna like it, or people are not gonna like it.
What is the kind of the primary that you're like? How do you feel about creation? Like, is it just something that is that the driver for you? Because it sounds like for me, the art layer you enjoyed so much. Like, what made you enjoy the art layer as you're growing up?
Well, I mean, like growing up. Well, I mean, I've always been like, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel and get like 1 million subscribers and like create like videos and people are gonna love. I've always been that, like doing that, partially because I'm like, oh, you just play video games, set a camera up and just like talk for an hour and edit it to like 20 minutes or whatever. But I've always been like, I want to create stuff, like I guess legacy. I want to create a legacy behind me that my kids can watch my films and be like, oh my God, my dad made that. Or, have a partner that's proud of me for what I'm doing, or like grandkids, or like people 100 years from now will be like, oh yeah, he made that. Like, oh yeah, he's the person who made that. And I've always wanted a legacy like that. And so this has been a good avenue to be like, and create stuff I'm proud of. Proud of.
That's the toughest part, right? Like, I mean, part of it is you're chasing affirmation, but the other part is you're just trying to get to the place where you can give yourself the affirmation.
Yeah, and that's tough. Like with the cage, like I said before, the first draft, I'm like, this sucks. But it wasn't colored. It wasn't even, it was.
How did that make you feel when you got there?
I was like, this sucks. I hope Ed 2's better. I'm like, I hope it gets better than this.
Why? What would have happened if it didn't get any better?
It's not good. And then you like, for me, it's like, what else am I gonna do? Sit here and be like, oh, this sucks. Like I'm just not gonna do film ever. I'm like, I'm gonna make another film, and then learn from what I made here, and hopefully it gets better. Like, and this comes from my parents as well. Like I never really dwell on like, oh, this sucks, I'm just never gonna do it again, or I find no point in that. I find a good point. Like, oh, I learned from that. I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make this, and what I learned from that apply to that.
Yeah. The creative gap is that the largest is going to be when you start
Mm-hmm.
and it's your job to close that gap no matter what.
Yeah, well, I feel like I closed that gap pretty fast with a feature.
That's good.
That was the third thing I ever made.
Yeah, have you ever heard of a bell curve before?
Nope.
So a bell curve is basically you've got like this sharp incline and then it peters off near the top, right?
Yeah.
And usually used with like purchasing high-end things, right? So like the bell curve for buying like a camera, it's $1,000 to like 20,000, a lot of difference. From 20,000 to 40,000, not as much difference. 40,000 to 100,000, many little incremental changes that make it better. But it's so small in comparison to this. There's a jump here and it's the bell curve, right? And so like any kind of activity, there's this bell curve effect that happens where you start and it's like this skyrocketing of like knowledge, and then that feels good. But then when you get to that plateau where the stuff gets difficult, when you don't learn as fast, when the it doesn't go as well, like how do you prepare yourself for that?
Well, I think much like what I'm interested in, I look at my history and be like, where have I went into film school with nothing under my belt. Like everyone else came in with, the only reason I got in was because I was a mature student. Everyone else came in with like a project, or like people were in like Forest City Youth Film Festival and they won awards and all this and that. And I came in and I made a feature-length film like within a year of going into school.
Yeah.
And it's like,
was that a thing that you were telling people you were going to do?
No. I was it's a lot tougher because I was older than everyone. So I couldn't really like, oh, you're like 21, like I'm like 18.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, 6, 7 or whatever. I'd be like, what is that? And I just kind of came in and I was just, since I was bored as a kid, I was like, I want everyone to feel included. And so for like the first semester, everyone was friends with each other because I would go up to everyone and be like, oh, like, let's add everyone to a big group chat and like make sure everyone's like included, and we'd all sit and eat together. And all the other sections were like at war with each other, like at war internally and just very cliquey. And our section was good until we started working together and realized people suck. But
isn't that a bit of a utopian view though? Like
very utopian. But I didn't know anyone, so I was just trying to connect with people and find out who was good at what and like.
But like just because like the fact that you were bullied and you went through what you did, that doesn't change how people operate, right?
I know.
So trying to push them all together, is that just going to go against the grain eventually, and you just end up with the thing that you're trying to not push?
Yeah, I mean, I was more just like trying to figure out people, because instead of like be clicky and I'm stuck with a clique, and because like you're stuck with a clique and I don't know anyone else, so I'm just gonna stick with what's comfortable. I was like, I'm gonna be friends with everyone, and then find out people I like and find out what people are good at, and figure that out. And like I know eventually like people aren't gonna like each other because that's life. People aren't, and we're kind of just stuck together. So I kind of did that, and I was kind of bouncing around a bunch of people, and then once it started breaking off in second semester, I kind of stuck with people I liked and were good at stuff.
So you've actually kind of like grew like homegrown team of sorts, right? As you go through that, which is nice.
Yeah.
Right. And so like, how's that feel? Like knowing that could be the crew that could lead you to the Oscar?
Well, that's not the crew that's going to lead the Oscar.
No?
No, I mean like, definitely with recent stuff, like, people like, oh, you guys made a feature-length film, can you produce our thing? So we produced the thing, and oh, can we put it on Bell and whatever, and and CBC, okay, here's a contract. Oh, contracts. They didn't like that, and so they kind of were like, oh, and then they tell other people, and because they were closer with other people than me, and oh, you made a short film and then did majority of the work, and then the producer didn't do their job, and then would tell people, oh, he didn't do his job, or they didn't turn out good because of him. And that's life. And it's also funny because I know in the future they're not gonna get me jobs. I'm the one getting them jobs as a producer and director.
It's also weird in this industry too, because you've got like these layers that you have to go through, right? Yeah. And making something for you is arguably the first layer, and then you come back to that later on, right? So when you first start, you're like, oh, I'm actually pretty good at this, then people pay me to do this, and then I go out and I do that for a few years, and then you end up coming back to like, I really want to do this, right? And it doesn't have to pay. It just has to this, and you have this fully formed concept in your mind of like what you want out of your creative, right? So in your journey as a young creative, are you looking at, the layers that you want to put together to make that Oscar-worthy film, or are you just going through it and just saying, oh, well, that worked, now we're going to try and do this?
I think it's really tough connecting the dots moving forward. This is a Steve Jobs quote. It's easy to connect the dots moving back. Like, if I never met Ali that one day, wouldn't have made a feature-length film, wouldn't be on this podcast, wouldn't have met Lily. Because when we met, I was in the studio working on the cage.
Oh, that's too funny.
And so like, I can't connect the dots being like, and it's the same with Ali. Ali didn't want to go that day. He was going to call and be like, I can't go because it was cold and we're filming outside. But he did. And he was just like, I just want to go. And then he met me and then we made the cage together. And so like, I can't connect moving forward being like, if I do this and that, and like, if I meet that person and do that, I'm going to win the Oscar at 25.
Yeah. Is that the goal? Is 25?
No, I'm just saying like 25, but I'm just going to keep progressing and hope it works out. I think that's with anyone. Like, you never know if a relationship's going to work out or a business is going to work out or a film is going to work out. You just kind of do it and keep trying. And hope it works out, because you never know. Like, I was supposed to go with Ali to the Middle East to talk business, and we can't, or we chose not to because it was
difficult now.
It's pretty dangerous. So like, and then maybe that might turn into another opportunity here that we wouldn't have got if we went there. And so like, you never know. You never know what's gonna happen. Like, I didn't know I was gonna meet Ali and make a feature-length film.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna do.
How does that feel, by the way, to have a feature length under your belt?
It still doesn't feel surreal. It still feels like it just feels like words, and it's honestly I'm not special or anything by doing it. Like, anyone can do it. Not anyone can do it. Like, not everyone can do it, but anyone can do it. You know what I mean?
Break that down for me a little bit.
Like anyone can, anyone can make a feature-length film, but not everyone's built to make a feature-length film. Like, anyone can. Like, I'm not special. I'm not like plucked from the gods of Steven Spielberg and Stanley Kubrick. I'm just like, my dad is, works HR, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and they have no connections, and my sister's a cop, my brother works in banking. Like, I'm not special. I don't think anyone's really special. I think it's just people, like I said before, people have it or people don't. And I found that, and I just you just gotta be willing to work your ass off and just have grit and determination to get it done.
I find it similar to entrepreneurship, where like making something come to life takes an extreme focus and will.
Yeah.
That you have to be willing to give out the time, give out the energy, and especially the energy portion of it is very like time you can quantify.
Yep.
Right? Energy is really hard to quantify.
Yeah.
Because I know for me personally, like, I will spend more energy in the things that actually we want to create moving forward. So I'm very careful about protecting my energy when it comes to either doing a podcast or doing a doc or doing a film or whatever we're trying to accomplish. I'm very careful to start to protect my energy, because I know my limits as far as the energy, and that's only from breaking every single limit I could when I was younger, by the way. So it's only by, going out there and, living the life that I have up to now to know where the energy stops. Because it feels so infinite when you're younger. And then when it's not, right? So
yeah, no, I get that. Like, I was working a full-time job, like I said.
Yeah.
I'd wake up at 5 to go to work, and I'd finish at 2:30, and then we'd film at 3:30. So I'd go and I'd print off the pages and then do film till 3:30 to 3:30, or like, and it was, and it like breaks down a lot. Like, it broke down a lot of like, not like relationships to the point of like my parents would be like, "What are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
But I'd just be like in a bad mood because I'd be so tired and like stressed, because I'm like, oh, like, like friends and relationships it would break down, and I was just like, well, I'm already here, might as well keep going.
Yeah.
And I realized that like wasn't healthy when I was doing it, but I was like, I gotta get it done. Like I don't think I'm ever gonna get in a position again where someone's gonna come to me and say like, I'm gonna produce the whole thing you just direct, and when I'm this young, like it probably will in the future, but a good part of that was because I did The Cage. I think.
I think it's because you're putting yourself out there and wanting to do it, right? And it's like,
yeah, well, that's a huge
putting
part.
the energy into it.
That's a huge part. Like everyone would say, like, "What do you want to do?" I'd be like, "I'm a director. I want to be a director, or I want to be a producer."
Do you feel that the directing, in some respects, is coming from the need to control the situation based on the fact you had no control when you were a child?
Damn. I don't think I had no control when I was a kid.
But you said you were bullied, which is the loss of control.
Yeah, I was bullied, but it wasn't like I had no control. It just felt like
you had no control.
Yeah, I guess I felt like I had no control. I guess.
Right.
But I mean,
is that why you're driven to this role?
I think I'm driven to this role because I'm good at it. To be honest,
sure you are. Yeah.
I think
I have no doubt on that.
I think the control aspect, because on set I relinquish a lot of control to the DOP and to the producer and to the AD.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just a good leader, and I've a good vision for things, and that allows me to be good at it. I think I'm just
sure, but that comes from a place of not.
I guess I'm working through the feelings right now.
For me, like when I started when I became a director, it was very happenstance. Like literally, Brady was like, "Hey, the director's dropped. I need a director. Can you direct?" And I was like, "I have no fucking idea how to direct." And he's like, "Just remove the camera and do what you do." Right. And so for me, it's always like very similar to what you do. You look for the why, and then you drive down on the why, and then that's the thing. So, and that became kind of a pivotal point for how I view stuff, especially in media.
Yeah.
And I started growing based on that. But my stories always come from a place of, I never felt good enough when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And not so much as an ego proving that I'm good enough now. It's more proving to myself that I can. And like I've gone past the proving to others part.
Yep.
Now I'm in the proving to myself part. Right. And this is like the layers of brokenness slowly shedding as I get closer to hopefully one day being a bit more of a wholesome human being.
Wow, we're breaking. I didn't. I guess. Yeah, because I didn't have control as a kid. I never really thought about it like that. I always just thought like I'm good at it, and like this is. I feel like this is what why God put me on this earth. Like that's.
Yeah.
I'm here
your
to.
purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's my purpose. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that you're pulling from a place where you can imbue that into a creative, because a lot of creatives go out there and they, like I said, they're very fascinated with the tech, and they're like, oh, I love lenses, I love cameras, I love sensors and all that fun stuff. And being a storyteller is actually forgetting that shit exists.
And just trying to tell a good story
and drill down to the why.
Yeah.
Moving forwards into the near future, what is going to happen? What are you working on?
Yeah. So, Ali and I have a production company called Mythos Pictures. And we've been producing, we're producing a short film called The Chauffeur this summer. And we have a bunch of TV pilots where we're going to be pitching to networks. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Obviously, we're working on getting The Cage put somewhere, whether it's remade or it's put on streaming or in theaters. Like we're still working through that with all the troubles, but that's kind of where we're at right now, and it's looking really good for our future in terms of getting stuff made. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
This is great.
So if people want to actually find you online and they want to actually, connect with you, how do they do that?
Yeah. I have an Instagram. I have an email. I go by 2 names.
Okay.
Jackson Dobbyn is like my in person, everyone calls me that, but in terms of directing, it's Everett Maxwell, my middle names.
Okay.
and that's what like I go by with.
Is that your actual director name? Is it
That's man. That's what I have on IMDb.
Okay. Nice.
So you can find me on Everett Maxwell Official or Jackson Dobbyn, Jackson_Dobbyn 10. You can shoot me a DM.
Beauty.
People.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This is awesome.
Awesome,
This is
yeah.
great.